What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is World War One Oversimplified Part 1. I've never seen this video.
Me neither.
No, I know. I know.
That's kind of why we're doing it.
Normally when we do these oversimplified kind of stuff, it's normally something I've seen a couple of years ago. Millie's never seen any of them when we react to them. I have never seen this video. Like you say, this is probably one of the few oversimplified.
Interesting that you've not seen it.
I haven't seen. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't actually know too much about World War One either.
No, I feel like I know more about World War Two.
We know a lot more about World War Two, don't we? Obviously, then that adds in with what's in Band of Brothers, which is a series on the channel. Check it out. The playlist is in the playlist folder. So obviously, we learn more about World War Two with Band of Brothers as well. Obviously, we learn about it more in school, I guess, because it's more recent.
Yeah, I feel like we learned definitely had more topic about World War Two.
100%, I'm pretty sure. Smash that like button if you enjoy, guys. Smash that subscribe button. Let's learn about World War One. Hopefully, you're going to learn something. If not, hopefully, you enjoy it. And what should we do?
Watch the video.
Yeah, not having a fantastic day just yet. Let's get into what we got.
The world of 1914,
Old school music.
a time of modern technology, culture, and fashion. Truly the height of civilization.
Wow.
Let's have a war. Everyone knew a big war was coming. France wanted some stuff back that Germany had taken from it. Germany wanted to take more of everyone's stuff, and they were building a big sexy navy that was making the British uncomfortable.
Okay.
These two empires thought they were really cool, but lots of different people who lived there didn't think it was so cool. And some of them had even been declaring independence with help from Russia. Everyone was talking about each other behind each other's backs, throwing the fact that military technology had come a long way since the last major war, and suddenly everyone was pretty eager to beat each other up. In this area of Austria-Hungary lived...
That's just humans, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone's just eager for power and to beat each other up. That is unfortunate.
Some Serbs and Bosnians who hated living in Austria-Hungary. So the Austro-Hungarian Archduke Franz Ferdinand goes there for a nice drive in an open-top car with his car's route published in advance. And that went just about as well as you'd expect.
Oh my.
Some assassins were waiting for him along the way and threw bombs at his car. But they missed and blew up some officers behind him instead. So the Archduke goes into hiding, leaves Sarajevo, and the whole war never happens. Except no, the Archduke doesn't leave, but instead goes back out in the open-top car to visit the injured officers in hospital. The driver takes a wrong turn and by sheer coincidence gets stuck beside one of the failed assassins, who shoots him. Austria-Hungary is understandable.
You're kind of asking for at that point. You'd think for a little bit you're going to hide out.
You'd think.
I kind of get the whole... It kind of reminds me of something off a movie. Kind of, no, we got to get out there, show resilience. I'm not afraid of these assassins. Obviously, don't be an assassin. But it kind of just is like, why risk it?
Yeah, it just seems a bit silly.
Like, I suppose there was no video call. I was going to say video call, but obviously the word by then. But like, just why risk it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When they're a bit better, they'll come and you can go and see them or something like that. But you guys are more than us, so let us come.
Just seems too risky.
Exactly. People just film bombs at you.
Yeah.
Why are you going back out in the same open top car? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so people can see you.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
At least get in a car cupboard and hide under the seat, like hide like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then rock
You're
up.
prime
Like,
suspect, aren't you? Like target, easy.
Literally.
Pissed about all this, and they think the Serbian government had something to do with it, which they might have. So they go to their ally Germany and say, hey Germany, we're going to declare war on Serbia, and Germany is all for that. So Austria-Hungary send a big list of impossible demands to Serbia, and when Serbia refuses, they declare war.
Wow. As simple as that.
Austria-Hungary and Germany are friends, and Serbia is protected by Russia, who's friends with France, so they'll declare war on each other. Montenegro joins in too. France and Britain also have a kind of alliance, so when France says, hey Britain, you got my back? Britain is like, maybe.
Maybe.
And then they decide to stay out of it, which is great for Germany because Germany has a plan. They know that Russia is so big and clumsy that it will take them a while to get ready for war. So with this guy in charge,
I tell you
Germany
what,
will say,
this video, I know we've paused already a couple of times, it's got stereotype spawn.
Yeah.
Russia clumsy at war. Do you know what I mean? We kind of seen that. Britain and France, kind of friends. As a joke, just like population-wise.
Yeah.
It's always a joke between the French and that kind of like, are we friends? Are we not? Do you know what I mean? I think it's got the stereotypes quite spot on.
I think it has so far.
send all its troops into France at lightning speed while Russia's getting ready. Defeat France, then move all the troops to Russia and defeat Russia, and then we all speak German and eat Pfefferpottast every day. Just one problem. France has loads of forts and defenses along its German border, and Germany can't waste any time fighting them, so Germany decides to go around them. Through Belgium.
Okay.
Belgium is neutral, but Germany wants to march 750,000 troops through it to get around France's defenses.
Wow.
They're hoping Belgium will just kind of sit down and shut up, but they don't. They fight back. And they're pretty good too, so
Wow,
they slow the
Belgium.
Germans down. What's worse is that Britain shows up, and they're pretty pissed that Germany's invading neutral countries. So now Britain declares war on Germany.
Okay.
So Germany
sense.
push on through Belgium and commit some atrocities along the way. They also wear spikes and sometimes skulls on their uniform. So if you're trying to not look like the bad guys, good job. The Allies have a propaganda extravaganza, and this starts having an influence around the world, notably in America. The US President Woodrow Wilson sees himself as a bit of a Jesus figure, and spends most of the war trying to get everyone to just hug it out. But there's also a large population of ethnic Germans living in the United States, and when the war first broke out, they were like, yay, Germany. But now that they're committing atrocities in Belgium, they're less enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Let's play Spot the French Soldier.
I suppose when you're doing something bad, it's then
It's been
hard
hard to then.
in a neutral country support it, and everyone else is kind of like, wait a second, you're doing something quite mad here.
Yeah.
Email, like, please let us know in the comments, World War One, how fast would news actually spread? Because it's all newspapers
There's
and
no
stuff like that, isn't it?
internet, nothing like
No
that.
internet, nothing like that. So how fast would it be? Like a week later, you'd start finding out. Should it be a development a week later, or is it a lot sooner?
Yeah.
It may be a silly question. I should maybe already know it, but I don't. Do you know what I mean?
No idea.
Like how fast did America? Because America are out of the way as well.
Yeah, it's not like they're in Europe. They're not in on like.
They're out. Do you know what I mean? So it takes
Yeah.
longer for the news to get there without the internet. So please let us know in the comments. I'll be
Like word
interested.
travels, but not that far.
Yeah, and that fast.
Like-
Did you see him? Easy, right? He's wearing a bright blue uniform with red trousers. And do you know who else spotted him easily too? The Germans. So when the French were slowly marching in columns through the countryside, the Germans easily tore them to shreds with their giant guns. All the nations involved in this war went in with an old school war mentality, and all of them had to update their uniforms and tactics a lot during the Great War. Because this war was going to be
You
like
don't wanna be
nothing
bright.
anyone had ever seen before. Russia's ready for war, and way earlier than expected. Hey Austria-Hungary, can you get on top of that? Oh yeah, sure, we've got this. Nope. So Germany has to send some troops back to the east to defend against the Russians.
Okay.
The chief of staff of the Austro-Hungarian army is this guy, and although he is handsome, he turns out not to be the best
He's
military
handsome.
strategist. Austria-Hungary constantly ignores Germany's advice, and then comes running back to Germany whenever they get in trouble. Austria-Hungary even gets its ass kicked by tiny Serbia, who repels all their invasion attempts at the start of the war. It's better news for Germany in the
Wow.
north, though, where they almost completely wipe out the Russian Second Army. Back on the Western Front, the Germans continue advancing and are in sight of Paris. At this point, anyone would be forgiven for thinking the Germans were going to get that quick victory after all, but then things start to go wrong. The French commander-in-chief knew something had to be done, and he ordered his armies to stop retreating. In the resulting battle, a gap
Ooh,
opened up in the
counterattack.
German lines. If a gap opens up, the enemy can use it to flank you from the side and behind, so the German armies have to retreat. The Allies launch a counterattack, so the Germans dig into defensive positions. The Allies do the same. Then both sides move north, trying to outflank each other along the way. When they reach the sea, they're in a stalemate with trench systems running the whole way from the coast to Switzerland, the beginning of trench warfare on the Western Front. Here's how trench warfare works.
I was literally just about to ask, like, how hard is it actually to get into a trench?
Yeah.
It must be quite difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're just standing up running no man's land. So we're going to learn, but it must be quite difficult, surely.
I imagine it's not the easiest thing to do.
It can't be.
Opposing lines of trenches with no man's land in between. One side would pummel the other with hundreds of thousands of artillery shells, sometimes for days at a time. This had a huge psychological effect on the soldiers, leaving many shell-shocked. Then, the attacking troops would leave their trenches and rush across no man's land, a muddy wet mass of shell craters and barbed wire. The defending trench would unleash machine gun fire on the attackers, inflicting thousands of casualties. The attackers would send wave after wave until either they gave up or the opposing trench was finally overrun. There would be
Wow.
months of fighting and the deaths
A
of
lot of
thousands in order to
casualties.
gain a few meters or kilometers of land. Living in the trenches was hard work too. Corpses, mud that could swallow you whole, pools of poisonous water, rats, disease, the smell. It's insane that millions of soldiers put up with these conditions, and commanders ordered them to do so for years.
It must have been horrible. Well, I mean, these are actually a short series as well, as you can tell, 6 minutes long. With my yapping, probably about 20 minutes long. Enjoy that?
Yeah, it was interesting. I can't wait for part 2.
Interesting. I mean, a lot of things come with the trench. I know, obviously, we know about the trenches from World War II as well. Trench foot is another thing which comes out of it.
Yeah.
It must have been absolutely miserable in there.
Doesn't look the most pleasant place to be.
Definitely not, and constant and all. Smash that like button if you enjoy, guys. Smash that subscribe and check out Oversimplified. The link is in the description. I'm sure you already have though. And part 2 will come in an hour's time. If you've watched this in an hour's time from when this video went out, part 2 will be up. If you're late to the party, the link is in the description. It's already up. If you click on part 2, there's a link to part 1. Smash that button, guys. Smash the subscribe button. Watch the video.
Have a fantastic day.
And we'll see you, legends, in the next one. Peace.